Service numbers are 572-0383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up Slu, the alpha of radio.
Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and to our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you on Facebook, on YouTube, and now on X. Welcome to Hard Drive for today, Tuesday, the 15th of April. My name is Andre Paul, the co-host of the show, none other than the lovely Kina. So, Kina, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Andre Paul. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Happy Tuesday.
How are you feeling?
You well?
Yes.
I thought they'd tie you. Anyways.
Maybe I've been, I don't know.
No, if you were, you wouldn't have gone like the Wind Fabulous. If something isn't working, you're like, psh, out of that potato. It's not working.
How do you know that?
You've said that several times.
I
You've
did?
said it several times.
I did?
Yeah. If somebody tell you, really? You're going to be there still, Andre? Nah.
No, but if I'm tied, it's only when the person says...
Go.
Because if I'm tired, that means I can't leave. I can't leave. And to me, I can always remember me being in control. When I say control, sorry.
No, that's fine. You can always remember you being in control. That's all right.
In other words, I knew when it was time to say, have a nice day.
When it's not working for me,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
In essence, it's not working for me, so
I can't remember me ever I don't know, begging someone to stay with me. My pride will just not allow that, man. Even if I feel that way, I can't begin to imagine me doing that.
Same here.
Yeah. Even if I feel that way,
I can't. But do you believe in it, though? Do you believe that happens?
Well, okay. Put it like this: I do know that there is evil in this world. There is good and there is evil, and I always use the Bible as a point of reference. Mm-hmm. There's a very interesting story in the Bible where there was this king called Balak, and I think he wanted a priest to cast a spell on the nation of Israel.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
At that time, God was favoring them at that time, not today. Okay? Right. So, Balak now paid this guy a lot of money. He paid him a lot. He was willing to offer him a lot of money to curse those people. Mm-hmm. And the Bible says that Balaam was just about ready to do the incantation. He was just about ready to do what he was supposed to do to cause a curse to fall on Israel. And God said to him, no, you can't touch those people.
You can't touch, right.
Yeah, you can't touch those people. So that just proves that, at least from my perspective, that this sort of thing exists.
Yes,
it does
based
exist.
on what the Bible
that
says,
somebody can mess with you and mess you up.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what one of the callers said earlier. I think, Nikki brought it up and the caller kind of supported what you're saying, that you now need to be well grounded spiritually.
Mm-hmm. I will have to agree. That
you have, you at least you must have some kind of relationship with God, some kind of connection. I don't necessarily mean a church going person, right, or Bible reading person. That's what I'm saying. It's just that you acknowledge this God on a daily basis, that you're aware that He exists, and you act in a particular way that would show respect. Yeah. Right? That's what I understand. So if you're like that, then basically, if somebody's trying to mess with you, you under some
you're pretty
kind
much
of
grounded.
Yeah, you under some kind of protection against that.
Protection against it. And I will have to agree with you. A lot of the times we just go and we pray to God when it's necessary, when there's a need, when something terrible is happening in our lives and we feel that shift and we just don't know what to do.
Yes.
And we turn and be like, oh my gosh, God, this is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? And so on and so on. And He's always there. You know, whether you come to Him today, tomorrow, He is always there. He's like the friend that is always there just waiting. Hey, you know what? I know you're going to make mistakes. I'm here nonetheless. Mm-hmm. But as you said, it's good. It's great to be grounded. You know, every day spiritually, you seek Him, you pray. That's very important as well. And it's like a guide. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much a guide that helps you on a daily basis, waking up, going to bed. Mm-hmm. It's very, very important. As it relates to the topic of discussion this morning, we are in a country where we've grew up hearing,
Those things, yes.
Munsa, I can't remember the word.
Maui.
Munsa, and that happens or whatever. I'm not quite sure. I've never really been around anyone that has been in a situation like that. However, as it relates to love, it's not one thing for everyone. Someone might get involved with someone really, really quickly, actually become intimate within a few months, and with someone else, they take their time. Someone might get married within a few months with one individual, and with some individuals, they are there for 7-10 years. Nothing happens. So I'm not quite sure, so I can't really speak on it. My thing, what I would say is, well, if you're going to tie somebody, why you ain't going to win the lottery?
Or tie Elon Musk.
You want to tie somebody to you. You want to do all of that. So somebody is just there with you, or somebody's destiny is literally taken away from them. Why don't you focus on you, yourself? Maui ko.
Well, I think my two co-hosts made a point that we should work on ourselves to make ourselves, if we're going to cast a love spell, cast it on yourself.
Yeah.
To make
cast
yourself.
it on yourself to be like, whoa, I'm the man.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And we don't need to cast a spell to do that. We just have to work on ourselves. That's it.
We kind of joking around, but we need to work on ourselves on a daily basis.
Yes.
Because we hear, I'm just going to add this. We're like, oh, I want to get married. Oh, I want to have this perfect, boyfriend. I'm a perfect boyfriend or girlfriend. But I want this woman or man with so many qualities. What qualities you coming with? What you bring into the table?
Well said.
Are you really working on yourself to be an
Well
individual
said, Kina.
that is not quick to anger, that is slow to anger, that is a one that contributes in the household, that is not bringing this extra drama into this person's life? Are you working on yourself? So you're asking for this. But do you have the qualities that you're asking of from that individual? And it's very, very important that we take stock of it. Too many men and women are walking around broken in our society. They may not be speaking up about it, but it's all of these things that, keeps breaking them. You get into one relationship, this person is like, oh my God, he's so handsome. He has this good job. I'm gonna, he's gonna take care of me and so on. And yeah, he's taking care of you. Yeah, she's taking care of you. And you're just there stifling. You're just there taking everything that the person brings, and you're just bringing constant nagging and everything else to this person's table. And this person is giving you everything. So it's important to work on yourself. You want to get married? Are you marriage material? Prepare yourself for when that time comes, that person that you seek, you are that person that you seek in the other individual. And we're not doing it.
No, we're not. Good point, Skinner. Well said. Well said. And it's so much better coming from you, because if maybe I said those things, people say, oh, yeah, Andre again, kind of thing.
Right.
But I'm happy to hear you say that. You come into somebody's life, you want to put a good man, for example, right? I mean, just speaking from that perspective, make sure you bring in, you said you bring something to the table.
To the table.
And you don't bring, as you said, drama and this kind of, and making the person's life miserable, right? So that means you're not ready for a relationship.
You're not. So. And we also have to let go of what has hurt us. It's difficult. I'm not saying that you're just going to get up one day and you're just going to get over everything that happens. But a lot of the times as well, Andre, we are broken. We all are broken, and we are work in progress. No matter what it is. It could be back from our childhood, our teenage years, our adult years, even something happens and it leaves us broken. We have to work on that. And even when we are in relationships, I'm not talking about just relationships where, it's whatever type of relationship it is, we have the tendency to assume sometimes that person doing something doesn't necessarily mean that they're cheating or they're gonna do this to you. And we always on guard. So every time something happens, you so much on guard that when you speak, you think the worst is going to happen in that situation. And we need to work on it. We need to not. Expectations is another thing. Boy, let me tell you.
So, Kina, let me just ask you, since we're there, I mean, we get to other things in just a minute. I'm so happy we're talking about this thing. As a woman, what do you think a woman should be bringing to a relationship?
Peace. Stability as well. Yeah, peace is very, very important.
Ladies, you heard it.
Stability in all its forms. Stability is that. I remember having this conversation with an elder, and I'm not going to say who. He's very, very dear to me, and he has been married for over 30 something years. And I asked him, how comes you, and I was about maybe 8 or so when they got married, and they married to this day, right? And he said, when I get home, there's peace in my household. I don't have to worry about her arguing and nagging me and everything. I look forward to going home, and a peaceful environment, whether it be a man or a woman. But when you come home to that level of peace, it makes you want to continue wanting to go home to that. And if there's peace, everything else follows.
Falls into place.
It falls into place. It's that easy.
Mm-hmm.
And to work on it, to get to that point, you have to do a lot of work on yourself. We have to let go of the judgments, the accusations, a lot of the expectations, because when you're setting expectations, whether it be on your mom, your dad, your significant other, that person too is setting expectations of you. It might not be as loud as yours, but yours might be the loudest in the room, and it might be deafening to the point that that person just goes inward, and that person isn't sure how to act around you.
So would you agree? Would you agree then that the same thing would apply to the males, the
Yes.
men? You bring peace
and peace and stability, into that relationship. It's very important.
All right. Talking about working on yourself, there was a sort of an interview with I think Anderson Cooper, and this lady who was taking Donald Trump to court and whatever, seeking compensation for whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And during the interview, because I think that Donald Trump is an unprincipled man. I have no time for this gentleman. Okay, right? But that's me. But they were interviewing the lady, and I guess Anderson Cooper, like a lot of other people, are wondering, well, what do these ladies see in this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Because for all intents and purposes, you look at him, he's not somebody that you want to like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was really, really curious to hear what this lady was going to say in terms of her response. And he asked her, well, what is it that you were so impressed with Donald Trump? She said two things. She said he's very confident, he's very intelligent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She didn't talk about his body, how he looks, how he doesn't look. She didn't talk about his height.
No.
She didn't talk about the fact that when he walks around, he looks like the House of Dark Shadows.
Maybe the House of Dark Shadows when he walks in. Exactly, confidence.
Yes,
she
yes,
doesn't
yes.
see that he walks in. It's like,
You ever
Yeah,
watch
man.
him? You ever watch him? He has this cloak that he wears.
oh Lord, Andre, you're gonna make me
He
laugh.
has this cloak that he wears, and he just looks like. It reminds me of a thing I used to watch a long time ago called what Dark Shadows? Yeah, Dark
Yes,
Shadows,
I remember
with an actor called Jonathan Freed or something like that. I think that was his name. So every time I see him in that cloak thing he wears,
Oh my gosh.
that's really, and when he walks, he was like.
And
he's-
it's so big.
It's
like,
big.
whoa.
It's big. But
Maybe there's a reason though.
for him wearing those things,
Mm,
yeah,
and
maybe it
it's big,
signifies
it
something.
signifies
yeah,
something,
it signifies
yeah.
something. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, she didn't speak about his good looks or anything like that. Although I think when he was a younger fella, he was a good-looking guy. To be
Very
honest with you,
handsome.
I found he was very handsome.
yes.
But now he's an old guy right now, so he's lost a lot of that. But she
I think
said.
he's still handsome in his own way.
And remember, and remember, she was with him it was just a few years ago that happened,
Yeah.
and she didn't talk about his looks. She talked nothing like that. She said he's confident and he's intelligent.
Right.
So that's what turns her on.
Right.
So working on ourselves, I think we'll do ourselves a favor if we are intelligent
Yes.
and we are confident. On that note, let me just ask you now, again as a female, what would signify a confident man to you? I mean, I know we just spoke about Donald Trump, but he's on another level.
Donald Trump is on another
Yeah,
scale.
he has power, he has riches, but I'm talking about an ordinary guy. What would the guy have to exude to indicate to you as a female?
For me, confidence in a man would be when he does something, no matter what it is. It's like, okay, this is broken. You come and you say, okay, babe, I'm going to fix it for you. I know you can't fix it. I know you know no engineer. But when you walk into that room, just the mere fact that you're saying that, hey, I'm going to fix this for you and you're going to try, that's confidence in itself for me. If you're saying that, hey, you're going to cook something and you go into the kitchen, no, you're not asking me, okay, what you're still asking me,
How to
hey,
light the
baby,
stove.
how do I mix that and the rice, whatever. There's a certain level of confidence that comes with it because it's like, I know what I want to do, but I still need your help. of doing it. So for me, that would be a man being confident. As it relates to this individual on a daily basis, how this person gets up in the morning and takes care of himself, combing his hair, putting his clothes on, what he does in and around the house, taking the initiative to pull up something, read, all of that. Yeah. So my thing of confidence in somebody else's would be very, very different. For me, that's what it is for me.
I find that's cool. That sounds real cool. I mean, and you know, the first female to give me that response, the response that, listen, this guy comes around and maybe it's at his home or maybe it's your home and you have a TV set that's not working. He'll take the TV set and go get it fixed for you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. He's confident. He's taking
Yes.
control.
Yeah.
At his home, something has gone wrong. He doesn't just leave it there and allow it to get even worse than it is. He addresses it right away. You're not the first female to say those things.
Yeah.
So you wanted something there.
Which is good.
I think the problem for most of us is finding that kind of person.
There are individuals like that.
I'm not saying they aren't. I'm saying to find them.
that individual.
That you'll be in the right place, right time.
Let's play matchmaker. Rev-Up Slu's matchmaker.
So very good. Yes. All right. Let me just read a couple of things here. Looking for a place for memorable night with that person that is confident, Kina?
Yeah.
All right, well, go to JJ's Paradise and indulge in their weekly specials. Monday and Thursday nights, it's steak night. Wednesday nights, seafood night. That's tomorrow night, of course, tomorrow, Wednesday. Come enjoy delicious meals in a relaxing atmosphere at JJ's Paradise in Marigo Bay. For reservations, please contact 721-7693, 721-7593, or 721-7493. I'll repeat those numbers in just a moment. Meanwhile, JJ's Paradise is currently seeking qualified candidates for the following positions: housekeepers, chefs, cooks, and dishwashers. For further information, please call 721-7693. That's 721-7693. 721-7593, that's 721-7593, or 721-7493, that's 721-7493. JJ's Paradise in Marigo Bay. Also, Kina, Susie's Variety Trans-Caribbean would like to inform their customers of the Easter opening hours at the branch of the Waterwash Highway, Grosley. Holy Thursday, that's the 17th of April, that's this coming Thursday, they open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. Then Good Friday, they are closed. They are closed on Good Friday. Holy Saturday, the 19th of April, they open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Easter Sunday and Easter Monday, they are closed. That's Susie's Variety Trans-Caribbean, situated off the Waterwash Highway, Grosley. All right?
Oh.
So these are the opening and closing times. Again, Holy Thursday, they're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Good Friday, they closed. Holy Saturday, they're open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And both Easter Sunday and Easter Monday, they are closed.
And I'll just like to add two things, right? One, Susie's Variety has the best fruits on island.
All right.
You won't go and they're moldy, just saying. Unlike another establishment. Or spoiled, mixed with the good ones.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like when they do that.
I don't know what the workers are doing, though. Anyways, but back to Susie's. And the price is always right at Susie's Variety. You know, when I don't know, I'm not quite sure. Just recently in office, we were discussing it. It's almost as if the more you buy of something, the less that thing is. When you get that bill, I don't know what's happening there, but when you look at that bill, you're like, whoa, okay, I had 10, maybe plums or something. And if it's like maybe $1.99, you might be paying like $1.50 for one or something like that. I'm not quite sure. I'm just assuming, because the when you get the bill, it's far different. And they have better quality stuff too.
Okay.
Really, they really do. And the other thing that I like to say is that I'm still waiting for my classes.
Your classes?
My dishwashing classes.
Where?
So I could go to JJ's Paradise. And maybe work for a day to help out. You were supposed to,
Yeah. One of these good days, I mean, just for fun, I must just go and just wash the dishes at
Yeah, we did
JJ's.
say that.
Yeah, just for fun.
Just for fun. Yeah, we should.
A night when they're really, really busy.
I don't know about the night when they're really, really busy. I'll be breaking plates and everything. I'll get fired. I'll just say, you're fired.
Yeah, JJ will probably tell you, Andre, why you bring that bill there?
She can't wash dishes.
Breaking on my plates. Okay. Now, I have a very, very interesting announcement to make. This is a place in Texas, USA. Let me just tell you exactly where they're located. 710 North Pruitt Street, Baytown. Okay? 710 North Pruitt Street, Baytown. I guess those who are in Texas listening right now.
Yeah.
So I was asked to make this announcement for Good Friday. They're going to be having a Good Friday Lucian breakfast. That's in Texas, right? They're going to be having roast and fried bakes, saltfish, smoked herring, salad, tomatoes, lettuce and cucumber salad, akra, cocoa tea, and lime squash.
Oh, wow.
And this is starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. So Lucian's in the Texas area. Yeah, if you know where 710 N Pruitt Street, Baytown is, go check it out this coming Friday. Boy, I guess the wait is over.
Is there a number there that
let me
they can call? Just in case? Nothing?
No,
Okay.
no. I don't see a number there.
The most amazing thing is to be away and still feel like you're home, especially around this time.
Yes. And I said to the person, "Are you sure you want me to read this?" They said yes. Yeah, Solutions in the Diaspora. So it's going to be a Good Friday Lucian breakfast. Roast and fried bakes, saltfish, smoked herring, salad, tomato, lettuce and cucumber salad. Also akra, cocoa tea and lime squash. Alrighty. So I guess the people in that area don't know exactly where to find that place.
They would, yeah.
All right.
They would.
So if this works, maybe we may start our advertising
In the
head.
diaspora.
We'll have to start, giving Texas a call.
I know, right?
Somebody said to me it's by Sylvian's Place.
Oh, Sylvian's Place. I'm sure they know where that is.
Yeah, in
I'm
Texas.
sure they know.
Yeah, Sylvian's Place.
Okay.
Alrighty. Okay. All right. Good luck. I hope everything works out. Okay. Yes. So, Kina, anything else you want to mention? I just have a shout out. I have a shout out. Partner of mine, longtime partner, friend, you name it. He's celebrating his birthday today. I didn't forget. I'll give him a shout out later today. His name is Russell Lake.
Oh, it's his birthday today.
It's his birthday today.
Oh.
Yes, and Russell is a guy, he makes a big fuss about his birthday. I think he and Clement Charlie Charles are the two people I know that make a fuss with their birthday. Me, Tony, we keep that a secret. Nobody even knows.
I make
The
a
day
big
just
fuss
comes by
about my
and
birthday
goes.
too.
I tell no one.
Really?
I tell no one. It's no big deal. I enjoy my little thing by myself kind of thing and my little vibe. That's it, right? My daughter, this is another era. My children, they make a fuss and no problem. But me, and I know Tony's like that. We just keep that a secret. Nobody knows. Yeah.
I was once like that, but as I got older, I'm like, you know what? I just want to shift. So my birthday is coming up. I want to do something new. I want to
Is this month,
experience
right?
something new. It's actually next week.
Oh, all right. So,
Next week, Tuesday? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. And there's some people, here's the thing. There's some people who tell you tomorrow is my birthday. And you know what that means, right?
No.
When they tell you tomorrow is my birthday, next week is I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying the people that they tell you,
Oh.
meaning get ready to to deliver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Tomorrow is my birthday. Next week is my birthday. Don't forget it's my birthday. Yeah.
Tomorrow is my brother's birthday, actually.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay. What's his name?
Menasha.
Menasha.
Yeah.
Menasha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Menasha. Good morning, Menasha.
Tomorrow is his birthday.
Is he listening that right now?
Yeah, he's listening. He's such a supportive brother, and I love him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's the one who normally gives you takes your hand and so on, right?
Menasha is so protective of me. Like
Mhm.
for as long as I know myself, he takes me wherever I need to go when I'm home, and he picks me back up. So it's like he drops me off when I'm ready. I'm like, bro, I'm almost done, and all I need to do is just walk out that door, and my brother is right there.
Wow, that's
He
great
has
stuff.
always been super, super protective. Something is wrong. He rushes to my side. I'm saying this and I'm a bit overwhelmed. He's just an amazing.
Well, that's how we're supposed to be for each other, especially where family is concerned.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. And unfortunately, that is not the case. That's sad to know that there's some families who are so disintegrated. There's some families who are so divided. It's not
Yeah.
funny. They're just against each other. And sometimes this is perpetuated by parents. Parents perpetuate that problem by
Yes.
making favoritism, things like that, creating
From quite a young age.
a lot of division among the family. That's
It
just
happens.
sad. That's sad. But I'm happy to hear you
And
say.
not only that, even when you become an adult, you are aware that is happening, and some individuals still continue to live like that. Like, you know what, all they live in this toxic environment. That one is not saying, you know what, we've enjoyed this for so long, let me put a stop to it. It's now time for us to come together as a family. And though I understand sometimes there's so much toxicity that you just want to get away from it, but it's also important, if you can, to try to be a peacemaker and say, well, you know what, this is not working for me. It's not working for us as a unit. What can we do as family members to, you know, kind of change that narrative that we've lived in for so long?
And as you said earlier, and which I that's a piece of advice I'll never forget, that we should strive for peace.
Yeah.
To bring peace to our better half, family members,
Family members.
Workmates,
Workmates, that's important too. Yeah.
among the politicians,
Yes. Yeah.
in the church, right? It goes on and on.
It goes on and on.
Your peacemaker. There's a story in the Bible about Isaac, the patriarch Isaac, where he was in a particular area. He occupied a particular area, and he dug wells, because in those days that's how they got the water and so on. And some people didn't like him because they felt that he was doing too well. So they would block the holes. Every time he digs a well, they just block it. And it's amazing. It kept telling you, every time they blocked it, he'll just move away. Every time they blocked the well, he just moves away. He wouldn't go fight and
Fight
get
or
on
anything,
and
yeah.
demand, right, this is my well. He just moved away. And I find that was just amazing
It's an
that
amazing
he could have
trait,
reacted like that.
To react in that manner.
Because, you know, our normal reaction would be, fight.
Yes. Yeah.
So here's a man who definitely was a peaceful person,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes. Yeah. All right. Okay. So Russell Lake, good morning, partner. Happy birthday to you. Do enjoy yourself to the max. Let me allow Kina to send you a mwah.
Mwah.
Wait.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I hope he's listening. I hope he's listening. Okay. So anything you want to mention before we move on?
Today, well, I guess you've been hearing about Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yes, I read about him this
trial in
morning.
New York today.
That's a
An
very
ongoing
interesting
legal
case.
saga, yeah.
That's a very interesting case. And these ladies who testified against him have to re-testify.
Yeah, and that's very painful. So we might think, and let's kind of center it back home, because a lot of the times we have individuals that are victims of sexual violence, and it takes a lot from that individual to go to court. So, and when they get there, you're hearing, oh, it's adjourned until next week or next month. It takes a lot from that individual because they have to go into this space to get ready for court, to face that individual. And they're not entirely there yet. They're like, okay, this is what I got to do today. And the emotions are all over the place. Sometimes they remember certain things. Sometimes they don't remember everything. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to have to face someone who has violated you in such a way.
I think he appealed that particular decision. So it seems as though the appeals court thought he has a case.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about the American justice system, right? It doesn't just condemn you. You have all your avenues available to you to explore.
Because, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In other words, it doesn't just end here. And
no.
I guess if you have the resources, then you can take it
Harvey
to the highest
Weinstein does
court.
have
Yes.
the resources, because following the overturning of that conviction in 2020, the New York court first ruled that the original trial was unfair due to inclusion of testimonies from, I think it was from women whose allegations were not part of the charges. So that's why that happened. And if those allegations were not part of the charges, I don't understand why they had to bring that in there. So he definitely fought for that.
So you see how judges make mistakes. The people who are part of a jury, they make mistakes. Because if as a trial judge, you ought to know those things, why did you allow it?
Yes. Why
So
did you
we don't
allow
know
it?
what the judge was thinking. So he has a case. I remember in the case of Bill Cosby, where he had an agreement with the district attorney.
Yes, he
The
did.
agreement was that if I give the deposition, that you don't hold it
You
against
don't
me.
hold it
You don't
right.
use it
Yes,
against
you
me
don't
in
use
court.
it against me ever.
Yeah, because
Ever.
we have an agreement, and that was signed. And the district attorney actually used that in court against
Yes.
the gentleman, and he appealed, and his
And he
appeal was
appealed.
actually successful.
Yeah.
Because if the higher court had upheld the lower court's decision, that means that you can't even trust the system. Because here's somebody who works for the government, for the state, telling you, I promise I won't do
promise,
such
and
a
then
thing.
you come back and
Yeah,
do the same
so-
thing that you said that you wouldn't do.
It would bring the
Yeah.
entire system into disrepute. So they
Yeah.
had to let him go. They had to let him go. So Harvey Weinstein, one thing boy, Miss Sini Chebus, Lapobus, because mate is a tough one. What? Let me tell you, this guy is not well. He's sick. When I say sick, sorry, folks, I'm talking about him. He has health issues,
He has
serious health issues.
Yes.
And this guy ends up in court every time.
But you know
That's
what?
amazing.
What really gets me, Andre? A lot of the times you have men or women or individuals, I should say, when they are younger, they think that I'm unstoppable. I could take over the world. I could do you whatever I want to do. I could maybe assault you. I could blackmail you. I can blacklist you. I could do anything to so many people without thinking that, you know what? It is going to come back to bite me. And when it does, I might not have the resources, to fight it. And even when I do have the resources to fight it, I have so many health problems to deal with.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. And Harvey Weinstein is at that particular juncture right now,
Yeah.
where he's not well. But he have lapobus, boy. Mate,
Everything that he's worked so hard for.
yeah, he just comes there unashamedly, like he just comes into the courtroom. You don't give a hoot about anybody.
It may seem so, but you don't know what he's feeling. Sometimes some people are numb to everything happening around them.
Well, I guess
I'm going to
you-
put up a good front.
You have to be numb.
Yeah.
in
Because
a
so much is
situation like that.
happening. But his
Yeah.
retrial is expected to last about, I think, 6 weeks. So we'll see what happens going forward.
And P. Diddy had to appear in court, I think, yesterday, I believe, and he pleaded not guilty. They have
He will.
a couple of new charges against him. And again, these people saying involving transportation of prostitutes, sort of thing. I mean, like, what, boy? So he's pleading not guilty.
To
again,
trafficking
that
and
one.
racketeering. I
Yeah.
think the trials is scheduled to begin May 5th. And opening statements, I believe, are expected on May 12th.
But let's just assume that all this, whether it's Harvey Weinstein or P. Diddy or R. Kelly, let's just assume for a minute that these were people just trying to mess these fellas up. That would really be sadder to see they have to go through all this stuff, even end up in prison and then end up in prison innocently. That would be
really
that
be a
would really be
sad,
a sad day for
not
the
even
system.
sad. Though. That's so heavy, and it's something that I've always said. Whether you're a man or a woman, it is never okay to think, you know what, I am going to lie to make that individual lose everything because I did not get what I want.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, these things happen and people are saying, I'm innocent, I didn't do it. And it actually also puts pressure on individuals that are genuine, that were abused, that was raped and so on, that are coming out to say, this person did do that. And it makes you question the validity of everything that's going on. Because if there's evidence of that one lying and there's evidence of this one telling the truth, then you're left in limbo pretty much. And that person, I know you get the fans involved in all of it, but if individuals women have lied as it relates to that case against P. Diddy just to bring him down, or R. Kelly. There's so much evidence though with R. Kelly.
Bill Cosby,
Bill
a whole
Cosby as
bunch of
well.
them.
He did. You see, these individuals have said too. They thought some of the things that they did, they normalized it. So it's like, okay, we're doing drugs back then. Whichever pills that they were taking, and everybody was taking it. So for some men or women, they figure, you know what, a kiss is just a kiss. The person didn't push me away, so that's fine. I came on to this person and the person didn't stop me, and it's okay. That one person did it, that other person did it, and that continues. It becomes a pattern. Not thinking that, hey, not because one woman did it, that means every woman is going to do it. And a woman might be, I'm looking for the word, a woman might be there and you're kissing her and she froze. She doesn't know what to do. She's in shock. That doesn't mean that what you're doing, she's welcoming your advances. She's in shock, and a lot of times these things happen, whether it be a man or a woman. In certain scenarios, somebody just comes up to them and is doing this, and they're like, what do I do at that point? They're in shock. They just can't respond. That doesn't necessarily mean, and there are instances where even scientists or psychologists have said that individuals may have responded in a particular way that, okay, this is what I want, but they're still in limbo. And when that person comes around, they're like, what just happened to me? I can't believe what just happened. And with Bill Cosby, I don't think Harvey Weinstein did say anything on that though, but he did say, okay, pretty much that's what they were doing back then, and it was okay. And a lot of the rappers as well have said, you know what, in the 70s, 80s, and so on, drugs and thing were a thing. They taking drugs and you put in a drink, and it's a thing. It's a form to just get that high, and it's okay.
What they are saying, basically, whatever happened was consensual.
Basically, that's what they're saying, and it wasn't.
The ladies agreed. Well, if we go by what the court is saying, that they find you guilty, that means it was not it was not consensual. But we do know that there are cases where people have been tried.
Oh yeah.
They have been found guilty, and the people were innocent. Let me give you a case. There's I think is it Japan? In Japan, I think that happened. A guy, I think he was a boxer. He was in his youth. And he was accused of killing 3 people. Things were not right during the trial, and one of the prosecutors actually quit the case because he felt that the guy was being wrongly accused.
Right.
So the fact that he's a prosecutor and he quit, that should tell you something. But they didn't care at that time. This guy I'm talking about became the world's longest death row inmate.
Ooh.
He spent 40-something years on death row.
Gosh.
And it just came out recently that he was acquitted.
How do you give that person their life back
Now,
after enjoying so much?
He's in his late 80s now. His late 80s. I think they just compensated him $1 million US for his stress.
No amount of money would change everything that I've endured. Yeah. That's years of calling out and shouting and maybe praying every single day that God help me, get me out of this.
Well, as a matter of fact, considering God, he said when he was writing letters to his sister, he said, if this is what I have to endure, because I'm sure people were saying things like that to him. I'll tell you what people say. Bon Dieu qui met. Right? God is good. Don't worry. God have a reason why you're going through that.
Going for it.
And I do not like when people do that sort of thing. It's supposed to, they think it makes you feel better. It doesn't make you feel better.
But some individuals, when they hear it, it does make them feel better to say, you know what, God's got you. And for some individuals, not everybody. Not everyone. So it's like a way of saying that no matter what happens to you, in the final analysis, God is going to vindicate you. And when that vindication comes, you need to be ready for it. As such, you need to do work internally. But it's hard on that individual going through it at the time.
You know what's 40-something years in prison? No, you did not commit it. No amount of talk about God's got you is going to work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't, no.
I find it is very...
You have to be really, really spiritual.
Yeah,
even then, you're broken at some point.
I find, and let me say it, I think this is highly insensitive for Christians to be coming to somebody who is going through a rough time and to tell him those kinds of things. It doesn't make you feel better because you know what you're going through. When the guy wrote that letter, I wish I had the quote there right now. He said, basically, when people are saying those things to him, well, if that's the kind of God that you're talking about, I don't want that God.
Yeah, because when you say these things, you're crying out and you're like, you know what, God, why am I going through this?
That's exactly what it is.
And if you're the God that is going to take me away from it and make me not go through this pain, why aren't you doing it? And for some individuals going through certain things like that, they never look at God again.
Exactly.
They never do.
And people are so sorry.
And it's for the individuals, whether it be a pastor, a Christian, and so on, a friend, it's at these times when someone is going through difficulty, as opposed to saying that, you show how much you care about that individual, how much you pour into this individual going through it, whether you're going to sit with the person. Sometimes some individuals might not want to pray. I'm being honest.
That
They
is true.
don't want
But
to
it's
pray
true.
when they're going through
Yeah.
that. It's like, and some people will say, okay, you can't help me, but that's all you're going to say to me. But if there are other ways that you could assist this individual, do it. Just don't tell them that.
You know what the person would prefer hearing you say? Instead of you telling about, God is master and God's got your back and those kinds of things. You know what the person would really appreciate you saying? My brother, I do not know what you're going through. I will never understand because I'm not in that. But one thing I can promise you, I have your back.
Exactly.
Okay? I
Yes.
will be here for you.
So
I will not abandon you. I will not leave you.
Exactly.
I'll be here for
So
you.
it's you're not replacing God at that
No,
point.
you're not.
What you are doing is saying that whatever that God has placed in me as a human being, I am going to be there physically to help you along that way, along
go
that
through
journey,
it.
to go through it, when God himself is doing the spiritual aspect. You have to physically be there as well for this individual. That's very important.
When Jesus Christ was speaking and he was saying, when he comes back to the earth to claim his people, his church, etc., he gave a list of things that he's going to be looking for. And one of them, and I think what he really meant when he said, when I was in prison, you came and you visited me. So while we understand it literally, there's a much more a broader meaning
Behind it.
Behind that. It means that you are supposed to be there for people who are going through a rough time and don't make life more difficult for them.
Yeah.
That's our responsibility. And if there's nothing we can do personally for the person, and we see somebody suffering, we have to speak out and try to protect them. That's why I keep talking about that Gaza thing.
And
we're
some
not
individuals
getting
see
it.
friends or
We're not getting
family
it.
going through something, and they say these exact words, God's got you and so on, and they're not giving a bread. They're not coming by to check on you. They're not saying, okay, well, let's go for a drive. They're not. It's the same thing over and over. It's like beating a dead drum.
That's why I keep talking about the Gaza situation, because I can see the suffering of the people. There's nothing I can do. It irks me, and not only in Gaza, in Sudan and those places, Haiti, because you with me, you hear me talking about those things all the time. So I'm not making an exception in the case of Gaza. It hurts me when I see people, especially innocent people, children, suffering like that unnecessarily. And for us to just remain quiet in it, quiet or not say anything, and then the perpetrators are not being challenged. This morning I read there what Israel is doing there right now. They said they want Hamas to surrender. So give up the fight, and we will accept that, and then we shall. Let's talk at that point in time. Hamas said, no, we're not going to give up any fight, because what it is now, you're going to get us. In fact, they really can't be trusted, because the last time they said they're going for a deal. The deal was that after the first 6 weeks, then they go for the second phase. They just broke the agreement. So here that you have the finance minister there from Israel saying, let me quote, not even a grain of wheat will enter Gaza. Remember I told you there's a blockade, right?
Yes, you did.
No food.
No food, no water.
No food, no water, nothing. Heather, let me give you all of them. No life-saving supplies, no food, no medicine, no fuel, and no cooking oil to enter Gaza.
Ouch.
This has been going on for over a month, and the world is just watching by. Why? Because you have here who's back in Israel, right? Here who's back in Israel. The United States is back in Israel. The United Kingdom is backing Israel, and other Western powers backing Israel. Now, you tell me something. Since World War II, they come and they set up their system. The system is supposed to be a system of laws, rules, regulations, how you're supposed to act, interact, what we're supposed to like, dislike, condemn, laws that are in place, and we are supposed to be respecting those laws. And today, we have a system now. The entire world order is just broken down like it means nothing. So you could kill as much as you want. You could lie as much as you want. 30,000 times if you choose to, plus, right? And the world just supposed to accept that this is the way it's being done. This morning I'm reading about what they call it, one of the Ivy League universities in the U.S., Harvard University. They've now been given orders by the Trump administration to toe the line. Otherwise, we are not giving you the funding that you normally get. That's
Wow.
Harvard University. They want to stifle free speech. Imagine, who would ever think?
Who would ever think it would get to that point?
In the U.S., where two things that they found to be sacrosanct: the use of that they have access to weapons, that they can fire, they can buy a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, to tell an American that you cannot have your own firearm to protect yourself is like saying to a St. Lucian, you can't have carnival.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how much they
Yeah.
treasure
That's how much right.
this right that they have. The other right that they treasure is the right to free speech, where you have places like North Korea and so on, where you can't speak out openly. Right?
Yeah.
America condemns North Korea. They condemn little Cuba. Right? They condemn
Venezuela as well,
Iran,
and
Venezuela,
countries.
because you're supposed to be the bad boys. And now you're telling me, in America, where now a university is saying, listen, this is the way we operate. So now you want to come and tell us now how to operate. So the president of Harvard University tell them point blank, no, we cannot agree to that. We can't agree. You cannot tell us how to run our show. We are independent. So, hey, the administration, the
back
Trump
on
administration say, hey, okay, well, no funding for you. Were you ever heard of such a thing in a free, in a free
Talk about
society?
free speech, right?
Imagine that happened in St. Lucia. Imagine our prime minister saying to St. Mary's College what they should have and not have. What
Or do or not do.
Yeah.
And if you don't
Yeah.
abide by what I say,
We're
then
not
we're
giving
not
you
giving
funding.
you any funding.
Can you imagine something
boy.
like that happening here? Because they set the thing up in that way already. They set it up so we
Yeah.
follow now, and to see them breaking those rules. Hey, the other one. The guy that they deported to El Salvador, he's in a prison right now, a gang prison. The courts had said to them, do not transfer the guy. The guy is entitled to what they call due process.
He is entitled to due process.
He's entitled to
and
that.
they broke that.
They broke it.
They broke
and when people were bringing this thing to the Trump administration, giving them information, the president said, I was elected by the people.
And I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yes,
anyway.
yeah, not you. You're a judge. In other words, you're in no position to tell us what to do as a judge. So here's the latest on that right now. So innocently, they sent a guy to a prison in El Salvador. I think the guy is El Salvadoran. However, as far as they can tell, he hasn't done anything untoward that would warrant him being put into that prison. So the president of El Salvador, who seems to me, he wants to, cooperate with the U.S. by taking, I think he's taken about 200 of those detainees so far.
A little over.
Right, okay? He's accepted them. He said he cannot just send the guy back to the U.S. And he's correct.
No, he can't.
He said, I can't just send the guy back.
The orders has to come from
the U.S.
The United States, yes.
He said there has to be a plane to take the guy back.
Take him back. He can't.
But the U.S. has said that guy is not on there. In other words, he's not an American.
Okay, so what if he's from El Salvador? What they could do is just get him out of prison and.
The U.S. has taken a stance. Ça pas affaire nous.
Okay, something's gotta give, but I think at this stage, maybe the president of El Salvador should get this man out of prison, put him in a home, and try to get him to some form of normalcy. Because he didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't hear the president say anything like that. So I don't get it, to be honest with you. But the point I'm making, when we hear about those things like Harvard is being silenced, a man is being held in a prison, head at. It's not something that they do not know. The judges have said, bring the guy back. Bring him back. When you hear about those things, and for us to just remain silent and watch it happen, my gosh, man, I mean, this is what I tell you that pisses me off. Because we have a duty, like I told you a while ago, when the person is in prison, that you visit the person.
When the person is, yes.
I have got your back. That's what a Christian is supposed to be doing.
And going back again to peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It goes back down to that one word. Peace.
So we're really living in some real crucial times. I never thought that we'd be living in those kinds of times where threats are being made to countries to take over. We want to own and things like that. I mean, you have the tariffs now going back and forth. It's like, where's this?
A never-ending story right now.
Where's this thing coming from all of a sudden?
So
and
chaotic.
From all places. What, boy? So as I said, we're living in some very, very, very strange times. But those of us who know better, the least we can do is to speak up. When you hear people telling you, and there's no shame in it, you're not getting a grain, not one grain. You're not getting cooking oil. You're not getting gas. We're destroying your hospitals. We are not allowing water, and they're saying
But
that
if you
without
wanna call it
any
truth,
shame.
At least give them some food.
You heard what I
That's
said there?
the start.
It's one thing if you hide into say it, you're saying it in some closed back door someplace. That's one thing. But they're coming out without any shame and telling you that's what we're doing, and that is backed by the US, the United Kingdom, and other Western countries. They are backing it. Now, doesn't that make you ask yourself some questions? What is going on?
Yeah, it does. It does make you ask yourself some.
I feel sorry for the guy who's in that prison there in El Salvador. The man is not a gang member. He's not.
And maybe you have no idea what he's enduring in prison.
Exactly.
As well. And that's why I said, the president of El Salvador should just, I'm going to release you, maybe put you into a home and provide you with food and so on or whatever, and some form of normalcy, because being in this prison is doing more damage to this man than...
Maybe he feels that if he does that, if he frees the guy may try to go back to the States.
That's not going to happen.
Yes, it can.
It can. The guy will have to purchase a ticket and try to go back and so on.
No, he could try to go there through the border or something.
That's possible, but, But try to give him some sense of normalcy, because all the evidence is there to show that
and
he
even
didn't
that,
do anything.
I'm glad you said even that, Bukele, that's his name, should try to do the right thing by the guy. Try to do the right thing. But he says the way he's talking, like it's out of his power. There's nothing he can do.
It's out of his power to send him back to the United States, because that order would have to come from the United States. But what happens in your country is your responsibility, unless he's maybe thinking of the backlash that's going to follow if he does.
Exactly.
So that could be something.
Yeah, and we don't know what arrangement that they have with the Trump administration, but I cannot imagine Bukele doing that for free. There's something in it for him. There has to be something in it. As he was in the States. He was there, I think, yesterday, speaking with Donald Trump.
What he spoke on?
That's part of it. The reporters were asking what was happening. That was his response, that, hey, I can't just send the guy back to the States. He knows he needs to do the right thing. He knows it.
I'm hoping he does.
But he's afraid.
I'm hoping he does.
Can you imagine right now there are people in America who are afraid to speak out. They're afraid.
Because they do not know what's going to happen.
I mean, you'd think you'd expect that kind of scenario in North Korea, right? North Korea and in Iran and those places we hear about. These are the bad boys. That's what you normally hear about.
That's what you normally hear. Yeah. That's what you normally hear, the bad boys.
Anyway, I hope the good Lord gives me the breath of life, that I can see, I can live long enough to see what happens to that system. Because it's certainly... It's unjust.
It is unjust. It's a very unjust system.
I
Especially
really
what's happening
would like
in
to be
Israel
around
right now. What's happening there is they've taken everything away from these people. Every single thing. You've taken away their homes. You've no shelter, and they're destitute. You've taken away a necessity again, which is food, water, clothing, medical aid, everything from them. And the powers that be who just sit by, knowing that so many people are suffering just because, we want to go back to what the Bible says, but there are laws put in place for that very thing, so it does not happen.
Exactly.
Go back to it. Go
that's
back
what I say. We're living in some strange times.
And if they want to call a truce, the first thing that they should be doing is sending aid.
But they're not.
That would be the first thing to do. Let's see what we could do for these people who are injured, who have been left without food and water for so long.
If you're the listeners and the viewers, if you do not understand, let me just put it to you in simple terms. Just imagine our government was behaving like that. Our government would say, okay, the gangs in wherever, y'all are not getting water, you're not getting food, you're not getting electricity.
Any particular area,
you just stay in there, and we're gonna starve you. All, according to somebody, all hell is gonna break loose on you all. right? I'm just saying, try to imagine our government doing something like that. St. Lucians would never put up with something like that. No matter how much they're supporting you, they would never put up with that.
I don't think they will.
Exactly.
No.
Okay? Because we still have a sense, thank God, we still have a conscience. But now we have some fellows on the world stage. Some people are leading those countries that it doesn't seem to bother them one iota. I wish I could
And that's the
understand
scariest
that.
part.
Okay.
That is the scariest part of it all. Yeah.
Let's get into the shout outs, huh?
Okay, so let's go to the shout outs. 1 second. I'll go to Facebook first. So the first person to chime in on Facebook is Pius Snappy. Yeah, man. He says, good morning. Good morning, Pius. How you doing? Kisses to you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Morning, Paz.
Dakota McGuire, Cleveland Seeley says, good morning and sends heart. So right back
Morning,
at you.
Dakota.
Thank you, hearts.
Thanks a lot for always
Sharon
listening.
Peter, happy Tuesday, Rev-Up family. Good morning,
Morning, Sharon. Hope all is well with you. She told me she's back in the US, by the way.
Oh, how does it feel to be back?
Good question. Good question.
Septima Joseph says, good morning to all. Good morning, Septima. Elvin J. Team Workers, the usual.
Eyes.
Good morning, Elvin. Kisses. Mwah. Barbara Xavier says, a rainy morning to all of you. Have a good day. Blessed love. Good morning, Babs.
Where is she messaging from?
Facebook.
No, I mean, what area does she live?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Barbara, can you
Because
chime in?
she said
know?
rainy. I just thought.
Raining. Let us know where it's raining, Babs. Lucita Jean-Pierre says, good morning, Andre and beautiful Kina. Also, Jerome, terrific Tuesday to all. Andre, did you hear the Donald Trump doctor say he is very fit?
Yes, I heard that.
Maybe I think he forgot to check his brain. Oh, my word. It's so bad.
But you know, these doctors, they're part of
It's
the system
raining
too.
now.
Yeah, right, that's right. you know, these doctors are part of the system and they all tell lies. A lot of them lie. I'm not saying in this instance that they're lying.
They're lying.
But a lot of them tell lies. They make you believe that these people are in the best of health and so on. You can't keep
And they're
banking
not.
it. Yeah.
They were getting paid.
They're getting
after
paid.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucita
You remember
Jean-Pierre.
the recently there with the Pope. And that's in
And
the
they
church.
were saying that,
Emperor
you know,
was upbeat. The man was very, very, very sick. The man, they almost let him go.
Yes.
They almost, and you're telling me every day you're updating me. I'm talking about the church. Every day you're updating and you're giving kind of like positive news, supportive way.
Yeah, every day an update, and media persons around the world are giving the updates, and then you come back and say, well, you know, oh boy, I don't know.
Gosh,
Sometimes
boy.
you really don't know though. But anything to keep them individuals there to make it look like they're doing okay. It would happen with the king, the princess,
Yes.
you know, the prince, a politician, even.
Yeah, they like to do that.
They do
Oh,
that
he's
all the time.
upbeat. He's upbeat. He was whatever they say. All
Yeah.
these positive things about the person.
Yes, they always do. Something that always happens. I guess maybe for fear, if they do say the truth, then what's going to happen, you know? So that's a power struggle.
But it's
going
worse.
to come into play.
It's worse because it's like egg in your face because
Yeah.
it happens so often. They always upbeat. I remember there was this story about this guy. He had a diet, one of the more popular diets. What is his name again, Emoji? He had a very, very popular diet back in the day where he's encouraging more consumption of meat and so on. Yeah, and less, no sugar, just consumption of a lot more meat. I forgot. It was a very, very popular diet. And this guy, right, when he died, they painted this picture about the gentleman, right, that the guy was in perfect health and so on.
And he wasn't?
He wasn't. He was sick.
Man.
Somebody released the information.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they leaked it. It was he had almost every known disease you could think of. He died in a bad way.
Well, if he was eating meat all the time, God forbid.
Yeah, exactly. He said no sugar.
Meat, but meat does something.
I'm forgetting the name of the diet. I'll get it.
I'll have to double check.
Go ahead.
Lucita Jean-Pierre returned and chimed in and says, good morning, everyone on the live and radio garden. Share a link. Happy birthday to our friend Russell Lake. Today is his birthday. Russell, eat your cake and celebrate. Love always. Lucita Jean-Pierre again says, special good morning to Jojo, Jean, D. Francis, Madeline, blessings.
Atkins diet.
Oh, yeah, I remember that diet.
Right. And the man's name was Atkins.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know he was that bad.
He was not well at all.
Oh, wow.
Yes, somebody.
I remember that dying.
And of course, the authorities, the family was upset when that came out.
Oh, sure.
But there was somebody said, you know something, I'm not going to allow you all to get away with that kind of bluff.
And they put that in.
He was not well. He was not well at all. Yeah, the Atkins there.
So Paul Food Baby Henry chimed in and says, good morning and happy Tuesday. It's good to be in the land of the living. Have a fabulous day to all in the chat room. Rev-Up family, St. Lucia.
You as well.
Joan Showery says, good morning, Andre, Kina, and chat room family. Sends kisses and love. Joan, good morning. Mwah. Kisses right back. Sophia Chandler, good morning, Sophia. Kisses right back to you. Mwah. She says, good morning, beautiful Kina and Mr. Paul. Happy Tuesday. Kisses to you both. Andre, kiss by
Oh, sorry. I was just checking the message. What was it?
Sophia Sanders sends kisses. Kisses right back.
Oh, thank you very much. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Juliana Paul says, good morning, Andre and Kina. Have a wonderful Tuesday with a smile. Thank you, Juliana. Kisses. Mwah. Lucita Jean-Pierre says, Jojo, I will come for my Good Friday breakfast. Oh, Jojo, good morning, Joella. Mwah. I want Good Friday breakfast too, eh? But it's how I get in it. It's coming by plane.
Exactly.
Septima Joseph says, good morning, my daughter Kajina. Have a wonderful day.
Sharon Peter says it's raining in South Jersey.
Oh, okay. It's raining here too.
Yes.
Peacemaker says, good morning, Tony, Andre, and my Kina. To everyone who's watching and listening, good morning. Good morning, Peacemaker. Kisses. Mwah. Patricia Benjamin says, hi, Andre and Kina. Good morning with sunshine. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you. Mwah. Peacemaker returned and says, my sister, sometimes some women want to be fame and they sell themselves to be fame. It's a quid pro or bargain or exchange. After it continued, then it become rape. I understand what you're saying, but remember the men will want to sleep with you, kiss you. It's disgrace on those who want to be there desperately. I think he's saying that pretty much some women want to be there so desperately and they will do anything. And then when something happens, they kind of like pretty much.
According to you, they freeze.
No. So some people actually freeze. They do not know what to do. They don't want to be in that situation and something happens and they don't know how to react. And some individuals desperately want to be there, to do anything to be there. And when they are there, they do freeze as well, but they are there when it happens. They know, okay, if he tries anything, I don't want it. I'm just gonna squeal. But you did put yourself in there.
You know. Sometimes the perpetrator, will say something like, well, what are you willing to do for what you're asking me to do? Because they say to them, can you help me? Can you help me get a gig? Can you put me as part of your show? I just want to get a little chance, a little opportunity. Say, well, okay, well, what are you willing to give for that? And they say, oh, I'll do anything. They say that, they don't really mean it. Oh, I'll do
some
anything.
People do anything and then cry a foul when it happens.
And then now the guy will say, okay, all right.
But the moment you want to be, if you want to be in the spotlight, you want a gig or something, and somebody says, well, you know what are you going to do? Get out of there. Say no, thank you much.
But they generally say, whatever it takes.
Nah.
You say things like that.
When you say whatever it takes, it means anything is possible. You're just leaving yourself open to anything that comes your way. And that's never a good thing.
Yep.
Leonid Green said, blessed morning to you both. Good morning, Leonid. Kisses. Mwah. Peacemaker came back and says, we sometimes want to hang our heart where we can't reach it. Thank you.
What's supposed to call a peacemaker?
Peacemaker.
Hey.
That's the person's name.
Is that a male or female, by the way?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
If you could chime in, Peacemaker, let us know. He also said, Israel, they crucified Jesus. Thank you for that.
Well, yeah, these are facts.
Here's a name for you, Andre. Westy Duet.
Westy Duet?
Yes. Says, good morning, Kina. Westy Duet, good morning as well. Mwah. I love that name, Westy Duet. Jan is in the building. Good morning, Jan. How you doing, Jan? She says, good morning, my lovely smiling Kina and Andre. If you're listening today, Tony, also do have yourself an awesome day. So Tony Paul, Jan sends you love and she wants you to have an awesome day.
I'm talking about Tony Paul. Remember we said because of the demand.
Yes.
That Tony returned. We've discussed this and
yes.
Tony should be back here probably from next week.
Tuesday, because Monday is a holiday.
Yes.
So Tuesday he'll be back. Yeah. Woohoo! Can't wait. Peacemaker says, time will tell. Remember, he's getting paid millions, El Salvador.
I don't know how. Honestly,
I'm not
I don't
sure
know what
if
he's
he's
getting.
billions.
But I'm sure there
sure.
must be something.
I'm
in
not
it
sure
for
what
him.
the agreement is.
Yeah, I don't
is
know.
it out there for public knowledge? I'm not sure. I'll have to do some research. We'll have to do some research,
Yes,
but
for sure.
I haven't read anything on it as yet. Peacemaker came back and says, these churches are there for their money. All these churches and so-called Christians are a business. God is laying down. He's not sleeping. Nancy Gracelyn says, but Andre, we are being silenced in St. Lucia. Once we speak, we are being bullied and victimized by political leaders in St. Lucia. So we don't have to look outside. Let's clean our house before we start looking outside. You think we're different here? We have, one second, let me pull this down. We have to call a spade a spade. Yes, there are big spades and small spades, but it's still a spade.
Well, the person does have a point.
She does.
They do have a point, because there's some people who are afraid to speak out, and they're afraid of the repercussions.
Right here in St. Lucia, they're afraid of
in
being
St. Lucia,
victimized. Yes.
You have a certain amount of freedom, but when you begin to be critical of maybe the administration that is in office, whether it's this one or the last one, you become a target.
You become labeled as well.
Okay, once you start, you're critical. Now, what I wish is that I wish it were such where you can criticize, and the person you're criticizing, who is a politician, can be mature enough to understand that you're not being mean. You're not trying to destroy. You genuinely care, and that is why you're being critical, and you do have a point. But I don't think our politicians, a lot of them, not all.
Not all.
There's some who just cannot take any pressure.
But even with that as well, and to add, there are individuals who are very critical of politicians or leaders in our society, and they do it gracefully. And there are other individuals, when they do chime in on social media platforms, they are, oh my gosh, they go way below the belt. There are things that they say that hurt you, and the message will get lost in that. So if you want to be critical, it's okay to be critical. And you have to, I think as well, whether you're going to accept what the person say or not, if you can't be receptive of it, then I don't know what kind of leader would not be receptive of criticism. And try
we have them. We have them. Not all. Not all.
Not all are like that.
So we have to be fair. We have to be fair.
We have to be fair.
Not all, but there's some who cannot take any sort of criticism, and that's a fact. And when you criticize those that I'm referring to, and they know themselves, they respond in a visceral way to what you're saying. And what they do, they will not retaliate against you directly. They will use their power and the influence to make life difficult for you.
But it's also important too, is how you say certain things too. And I'll bring it.
No, for some of them, no, you can't say anything
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because
Once
they will see it as an attack.
An attack, exactly.
Okay. Wested Wet went to say, returned and said, the guy is American. I guess what we were in reference to what's happening with El Salvador and that prisoner.
I didn't read that. That he's an American?
That's what.
No man.
Double check.
No.
If there's information online.
America, if you're an American, they will not deport you to El Salvador.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't think they would.
Yeah, if you're an American, they will not deport you to El Salvador. They're going to keep you in an American prison. So the guy is not American.
Okay. Peacemaker says, dear old crooks, thank you, Andre. Money talks. Nothing lasts forever, honey. Elsa Hippolyte says, good morning, Andre, Kina, and all in the chat room. Not forgetting Tony. Miss you guys for 2 days. Have a fantastic day. Elsa Hippolyte, thank you for the kisses and the love. Right back at you. Peacemaker says he had already died. I'm not sure who he's referring to. Sometimes I'd rather not watch the news, period. Someone, Wested Duet, says that message is for me. My sister gave a number, but you have not reached out. Please don't call my real name. Oh, I don't know who you are. Okay, but I'll get to that. Peacemaker says it's raining in Jersey. Barbara Zabi says the United Kingdom. Oh, it's raining in the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
So hi, Babs. Mwah. Peacemaker says the daughter gets paid big moolah for that. And went on to say, I don't believe in Judas. Lucita Jean-Pierre says, Andre, there are people right now in St. Lucia that are afraid to talk because there is a bully in our government. Jerome, my friend, eyes. Lucita Jean-Pierre says, my darling, good morning. Referring to...
Let me just read this. I'm sorry to disturb you.
Sure, that's fine.
I'm just reading this. El Salvador will not return Abrego Garcia, whom the United States government deported to his home country. Okay? His home country. He's Salvadoran.
Okay, cool.
But I'm trying to get what is it that Bukele is getting out of this. I can't see anything.
Well, they haven't released any information saying that what agreement they had.
They're keeping it a secret, boy.
Hopefully it's released soon. Pius Stabby Yeman says 100%. Sorry about that. Peacemaker says, Andre lost in love. That was fake, Andre. LOL. I'm not sure what that he's referring to.
No.
Cynthia Hines says, Andre, those kisses came down good we. I'll say this again. Andre, those kisses came down good we.
Okay.
Peacemaker says, I wouldn't freeze because I will eat rice with butter, sardines and potatoes. Yummy.
Yeah, but you must have them. Well, how are you going to get it?
No, I think he's referring to in a situation where he maybe wants a job and he goes and says that, I really want that job or to be part of this. And the person says, what would you do for you to be part of that? Or to get that job. So he's basically saying, he or she is basically saying, I wouldn't freeze because I would rather it pretty much rice or
now I get you. Sorry about that.
Sardines or something. Sorry. She says, again, my love, I'm a woman. Okay, sorry. You see what happened was the name Peacemaker has me a bit confused, so I'm not sure. Sorry, Peacemaker. Keep that in mind. Okay, I'll remember tomorrow. West State Wet says, Andre, didn't you hear what Donald said about homegrown being sent to El Salvador? Homegrown. He says, the individual said, Andre, didn't you hear what Donald said about homegrown being sent to El Salvador?
You mean the same guy we spoke about?
Most likely.
But I just gave you the information there.
So he said it, yeah. Lucita says he think he is a bully. Wasted Wet says he was born in El Salvador, but he is an American by naturalization. Okay. So that's the final comment on Facebook, on our Facebook platform. I would just like to say thank you so much for chiming in and being part of today's program. Moving on to our WhatsApp platform now. The first individual to chime in was, let's see, you have something to say, Andre?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're actually off the air.
Okay. Well, we still have individuals that are online.
Yes, but I'm talking about our FM service. Yeah, we're off the air.
So, okay. These happen, and we'll try to rectify that very, very soon.
Yes.
So, to those online, thank you all so much for staying with us and tuning in on Facebook, listening on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, and we're on X as well. And you want to search as well for Rev-Up St. Lucia, that would be just Rev-Up St. Lucia on social media platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, X, or YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe. Back to the WhatsApp platform now. Nicholas Shalry says, Rev up my brother and sister from another mother. I'm in the house. Love you both. Kina, one of these beautiful days, I'll make you smile. Boy, I'm always smiling, Nicholas. I'm always Muddy Tony,
I agree.
Muddy Andre.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Our partner, your check bones long already.
Someone else says, Andre, maybe one day you should have a show on siblings who hate siblings. I grew up with both my parents, but my dad had 2 children before marriage. One of them hates me, and I honestly don't know why. I have tried everything to find out why. I have tried everything to be at peace with her, but she doesn't like me. I'm staying away from her just for peace sake. Can you imagine if Tony hates you and you've tried everything to find out why and he hates you? It's sad, but that's the reality of what's out here.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Yeah, sad. Very, very.
I'll give that some thought about having a discussion on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I wonder if people would feel comfortable calling, because
I'm sure they will.
when it comes to those kinds of matters, people want you to know they're having issues in
You'll
their
be
family.
You'll be surprised.
I guess I'll be surprised.
You will be surprised.
Yeah, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
You
You'll be surprised.
Anyway, we're back on FM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fire, for ensuring that we're back.
Yes. And our listeners, of course,
as well, for staying with us.
Informing us and staying with us.
And staying with us. Someone else just chimed in and says, happy birthday to the guy, some flood. You to ask if he came... What? Happy birthday to the guy, some flood. You to ask if he came from under a cow mouth?
I don't understand.
Me neither. Russell Lake as well, happy birthday. Wishing the brother all the best on his special day. Virginia says, good morning to you both. It's raining here too. That's in Canada. Virginia, good morning. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Gina, for
kisses.
always keeping in touch. I was listening to Tony last night, and even on Tony's show, she was keeping in touch.
She touches base with
Wow,
all of us,
amazing.
and that's an
Thank you,
amazing
Gina. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a
Kisses.
real fan.
And our final comment message for today comes from the one and only, Joella Yard. What's up? What's going down? Happy Tuesday to you. She actually sent the menu that you read, and she says, good morning, Kiki, Tony, and Andre. That topic was interesting. I can speak of it. A lot of St. Lucian women are engaged in this just to be with a particular guy. I have evidence. I know they listen to Rev-Up because they know I'm on there. LOL. The moment my comments are read, it gets back to me. It's a small world. You know very well there's a mighty bully on the SLP side.
I wonder if the ladies who are engaging in this practice, whether they are younger.
What practice?
The thing about this
Tying?
the love jinx.
Just what's that?
Isn't that what the person was talking about?
Yes, most likely.
Yeah. I wonder if young women know about those things and they're participating, because this morning Nikki was saying that it's actually available online. You can do it to actually tell you what to do.
What?
Yeah, I didn't, again, welcome to my world. I was like, huh? And people are
So
surprised.
if it's available online, so what would most likely happen? And that's why last week I actually did something on, being tech savvy and keeping our kids, out of and monitoring their footprint on social media online, because you just never know what they're exposed to, because they have pop-ups online all the time. So just imagine you have a child who is constantly online and something pops up and says, oh, well, you know what? You could do this, and there are things to do that they have to follow, and they're following it and don't know what to do, and something happens. You just never know. And they get deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And it's important, as now that you brought it up, that Nikki didn't say that this morning. It's online. What would happen if individuals that are unsuspecting find that, and what they could do with it.
Yeah.
So most likely, Nikki is speaking from a place that she
said she read it. She said she's
seen it.
She did the research. She said lots of videos on that.
That's
people
scary.
explaining, telling you exactly
What?
how it's done. This sort of thing.
Oh my word!
Yeah. She said she gave 2 examples. One is the use of candles with a name.
Oh my word!
Okay, you repeat the person's name over and over and over.
Pas repeat no more. Maza. Are you no? Whoa!
The other one she mentioned, she said that if a woman is menstruating, take some of that blood. Oh yeah, and do whatever they have to do.
Oh my
now,
word!
That's online. Now I was saying this morning that do these things work? But apparently they do.
Works?
Apparently they do. But what we were also saying this morning is that we have to be well grounded spiritually.
We have to be well grounded spiritually, and that's a given. And I will end by saying that as well. Be well grounded spiritually, and as such, as parents, as guardians, we all have social media footprints that when we're online that we leave. It's important that as parents and guardians that you constantly check in with your children to see what's happening with them online, so that they do not come across that. Yes. On any platform.
And don't believe that your child is beyond that.
Yeah.
Beyond going to explore and to find things and to try things. Don't believe your child is a little angel.
It's innocent.
No, no,
and
no,
sometimes
no.
they are little angels. They see something and, they're like, okay, what's that? They're inquisitive. They just do it and something else happens. They're not sure. And when it's happening, by the time it's happening, will they go to mommy or daddy to say, hey, mommy, I did that? Maybe by the time they do come to you, it's too late.
Maybe.
So it's important as a parent, as a guardian, to ensure that you check your child's social media footprint. You're always
I agree.
checking.
100%.
Yeah.
Hmm. And also, as parents, we need to be one step ahead of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, meaning we know about social media, we know how it works and so on.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're at least a step ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Someone says, okay, the person responded and the person said, happy birthday to the guy Sam Flood. Used to ask if he came from under a cow's mouth.
I still don't get it.
And
And I don't think it's Chukwa's birthday today. I don't think so.
know. No, that's one comp. Yes, that's what she says. And she also went on to say, I'm not sure if it's a she or he. The individual also went on to say, how AP forget the Sam Flood and Russell joke on 100 FM?
A joke.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe there's something they're trying to communicate that to me, which I'm not really
Maybe.
getting.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry. That's a long time ago. Remember that? That's about 30 something years ago. That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. Colin says, good day, guys. Good morning, Colin. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Kisses. Mwah. And Joella returned and says, they are young women. That's our final comment for today. Yeah, so Jojo?
Yeah, because they're the ones that are on social media.
Yes.
But I was thinking maybe our young women would be way past that sort of thing, that they're more educated and that they know better. They know from experience that this thing doesn't really work in the final analysis. What is the point?
And what if they're told that it works and they want what they want nonetheless?
By whom? By the
I'm
parents?
not sure.
The parents?
I'm not sure.
Friends?
Friends. You influence in some way in some instances, and people do something and they go down the rabbit hole and they can't really get out of it. They just get deeper and deeper. And it's important that we're having conversations like that, to bring awareness to it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, boy. But I don't know. As I said, you see me, I don't dabble in those things.
And neither do I.
I'm sorry, I don't want to know about that. That's yeah, I don't need to. I don't need to be Maui in anybody. Okay, and in fact,
I have to agree. You don't have to be mowing anybody. If the person doesn't want to be with you, the person doesn't want to be with you. I mean, there's someone there out there for everyone.
yeah, and that came up in the conversation this morning. I asked the question: what is the behavior? What is a response? Okay, what is the best way of responding to a person, whether male or female, who indicates to you that they are not interested in having a relationship with you? And I made some points. I said sometimes the person is in a committed relationship, and sometimes the person wants to be faithful in the relationship. Now they may like you. There's a possibility the person may like you.
Or may be interested, but they're not going to go down that road
because they're already in a committed relationship.
Just
right?
go your way. Leave
so
them alone.
that's one scenario. They're in a committed relationship. Sometimes the person is married. The person is married. So that's that. Imagine you doing something like that to somebody who's married. That sort of thing to cause problems and so on, to cause people to want to
just
break
so
up.
they could break up and you could be with the person. How do you live with
yourself? That's what I was just
knowing
thinking.
that you've done this. How?
So I was asking the question this morning: what is the mature response when somebody is not interested in you? What is the mature response? And I think we all agreed that we just leave it alone.
You leave it alone. Go your way.
Leave
Wish
it
them
alone.
well.
Because Nikki made a good point. She said sometimes the person that you really want to be with, even if you do get the opportunity, sometimes the person disgusts you because you get to know them better.
Yeah. Sometimes,
and you're disappointed.
And you're disappointed.
And that who I was interested in, man. And now you're thinking, how do I get out? I hope.
They have to unmaui the person.
Yeah, no. Well, exactly.
Oh my word! Sheesh. Oh, that's crazy though.
Yeah, because I'm sure you've come across that already. The saying is really true. It's not all that glitters is gold.
Yeah.
And that's really true.
It is true.
You see the thing looks a particular way.
It walks away.
Yeah,
Talks away.
and you're thinking,
away.
wow.
Yeah.
When you hear sometimes what the people we envy, right? What the challenges these people have. These people, like I said to you, the doctors that paint a picture about whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's the Pope, they paint a picture, and a
that
lot of people
all is well,
live
and
like
all
that.
is not well.
Yeah, you see these people smiling broadly as though everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
Even in their marriage, they're pretending. They pretend. And when they're
happens
outside
all
there,
the
they're
time.
smiling and they're holding hands and so on. When the people,
Gets home,
the
there's
camera
something
light, the
else.
cameras are off. It's something else. And we're there seeing that and say, wow, I wish that was my woman, boy.
And the jealousy that comes with that too, because you want to rip that person away from someone else, and you're doing everything
Exactly.
to get that person into your life, not knowing what this person is doing on the other end. Yeah,
We don't have all the facts.
you don't have all the facts, and
So-
just don't. There's certain things that you just don't do, and that's one of them. Just don't.
Yeah.
Pa Maui Moon.
I agree.
Maui go. Try to be a better version of yourself, so that when that individual comes that is for you, you are ready.
And one of those ways that you do that, you said it earlier, you're a person of peace.
Yes.
No drama.
No drama.
Okay? You don't bring that into somebody's life.
I agree.
Nobody likes. In fact, that's what people are trying to get away from. Those kinds of things, this drama. Because some of us, that's all we had, in our earlier years.
Some individuals thrive on it,
You know,
and
you know,
self-sabotage as well is another thing.
a lot of people, right? Not that they wanted it, they were just brought up in an environment where it
where-
was just toxic. And they finally get out of that. They're able to move on. They get their own apartment and things like. They have a good job. They're doing
Oh,
well,
yeah.
and they go and get involved with somebody now, bringing all that
Toxicity
into their life. Somebody trying to get away from. They don't understand the value of peace.
Oh, some people just don't. They just don't, and it's sad that people are out. Well, again, it's important that we do the work on ourselves. You want to be in a relationship. You want love, but it starts with you. Be your peace, so you could be somebody else's peace.
So,
Pretty much.
alrighty.
Yeah.
So we gotta wrap it up. This has been Hard Drive. Tomorrow is Wednesday, God willing.
Yes.
We'll be having another Hard Drive from 10 o'clock, right? And hopefully Tony will be with us from next week,
Tuesday. Yeah.
All right. So Kina, thank you very much for the time. Anything in particular you want to mention on your show coming up?
Today on the show, we're focusing on China because China has halted the deliveries of Boeing jets. So I'll discuss the decision behind that. There's also the president of CONCACAF. He's pushing back on a proposal to expand the 2030 men's World Cup to 64 teams. And there's a reason why he's doing it. So I'll touch on that as well. We already spoke about Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
That court case is ongoing now, I believe. So if there are any updates, I'll touch on that. Blue Origin yesterday launched 6 women into space. Any updates on that, I'll touch on that. Not forgetting the Rev-Up St. Lucia news with you at 1 p.m. right here on Rev-Up St. Lucia. We also have the One Hit Wonder at 12:15, the Hit of the Day at 12:45, and we have the Riddle of the Day at 11:45, and not forgetting at 1:45 p.m. It's a new program, and as well, it will be ongoing even when Tony comes. It's called Safe Streets, Strong Communities. It's a segment within the Rev-Up Center that focuses on awareness, crime prevention, just conversations and real solutions, and to build better communities, a better country, stronger neighborhoods. And today I'm focusing on Neighborhood Watch, why it matters now more than ever because of what's happening in our community.
Okay, so all that coming up with Kina until 3 o'clock this afternoon. From 3 is going to be Zen the DJ until 6, and then I return this evening with Dr. Suraj for Doctor in the House Live. And by the way, folks, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on X. And I've grown since yesterday, so once you go on those platforms
Andre. Yeah, you've
once
grown.
you go
I will knock
on
on
those
wood.
platforms, you just have to type REVUPSLU.
I'll do something you did to me. Shh. But go on, you have to type.
So once you type that, It'll pop up.
What you have to type, Andre?
It'll pop up.
No, what you have to type?
REVSLU. It just pop up.
For those who don't know, you don't know. It's, our secret from yesterday. Everybody who tuned in yesterday know what it is.
I didn't give it a long address.
It happens, it happens.
Let me tell you
You've
what
been so used to it.
Let me tell you what I was telling the listeners. I said to them, go to youtube.com/@REV hyphen UPSLU. All that information I give the people,
Yeah. So they have to type. So imagine you're listening to you right now and you're like, okay, you want to go to our YouTube channel, go to www, and they're like typing www. Andre, what's the other thing? / What's it? Rev-Up. What's it? That's my mouth.
And I well listen. It's a lot of work.
Oh my gosh. It happens. It happens to the best of it. It happens.
All right.
It hurts. I'm laughing.
So, folks, thanks a
Oh
lot
my gosh.
for listening. Thanks for viewing. Have yourself a nice day. Don't forget, I return tonight from 6 o'clock for Doctor in the House. Bye-bye.
The Grapevine presents Country Meets Old School, happening on Saturday, 19th April 2025 from 6 p.m. on